Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody there? Can I turn here? I can't tell till I get there. Until I get there. Um, okay. Oh, anyway. Hello? I'm just waiting. Hello. Hello. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna start talking. So I titled it, "Are these types of videos?" Oh Lord, did I go too far? I titled it, "Are these types of videos a transhumanism agenda?" There's a lot of things that's a transhumanism agenda. When I'm talking about specific videos, because it's agenda. Okay, it's not just limited to one thing. I want to talk about these videos I've been seeing called "I'm like," and this is just an example of the ages. People say, "Well, I'm 52 and I don't like being around people." I saw a thumbnail today with the lady saying, "I'm 39 and I don't like being around people." I'm 45. I'm 45 and I don't like being around people. I'm 53 and I don't like being around people. And the first time I saw it, I think the first time I saw a video like that, I don't know when it was, maybe a year ago or a couple of years ago, was the first time I saw a video like that. And I said, okay, I mean, I can see it because I feel like that way too. I've been especially feeling like that way since COVID. But I can see how it's hard to be around a lot of people because people are very ill. People are very ill. Okay. And you don't want to keep dealing with everybody else's shadows. When you're dealing with other people, you're also dealing with their shadows, and you don't want to deal with their shadows. And so, like, when I first started seeing one or two of those videos, it wasn't a big deal to me. I understood it, I overstood. But it gets to a point where I'm just starting to see these movies with these titles. I'm this age and I don't like being around people. I'm this age. Like, it's the same type of title. Your name, you're saying how old you are, and then you talk about why you don't like being around people. Why are you having different people in different parts of the world that titles their video in that same way? Like, that don't sound right to me. And I say it sounds like it's propaganda or an agenda for transhumanism, because to me this seems like really, really just wanted to distance yourself from people. Here's the thing, I don't want to distance myself from people. If I feel like people in the United States are so crazy, so ill, to the point where I can't be around anybody, that's when I would choose to have to go somewhere else, because I don't want to live in a state, in an existence where I can never be around people. If that's the case, I can just go off grid and just don't have no communication with the outside world, and don't have no cell phones, no cell towers, no nothing. Okay, I'll do that type of stuff if I want to distance myself. But like I say, with these type of videos and these titles, they all are the same types of titles. But you have all different peoples that live in different types of the world. Why can't they be unique? Why aren't they why can't they be original? Why can't they be original with their titles? Why are they kind of saying the same thing? I'm 25 and I don't like people. I'm 35 and I don't like people. I'm 52 and I don't like people. So it seems like it's an agenda for people to distance themselves from each other. When those videos keep coming out, and then you get other people that You get some bots and you get actual people under the comment section and say, yeah, I don't like people either. Lately, they just been, it's like feeding into those kind of videos. So yeah, people were feeling that way already. It's a lot of people that might have been feeling that way. But when those type of videos really, really become popular like that, it really exacerbates the condition that already exists. I work in healthcare. When you use something like COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, or other types of illnesses, and you use that word exacerbate, means it's like it's just gotten out of control. It's gotten worse. It's much worse than what it usually is. It's just kind of like got out of control so much to the point where you had to go to the hospital because it's unmanageable. When it exacerbates, it gets to the point where you need medical attention. It can't be manageable like it used to be when you were at home. And so what I'm saying is that, yeah, you can say, yeah, well, I've been felt like that way about people. Well, yeah, I do too. But when these videos seem to keep going viral, and then you get other people that already have those feelings, and they see those videos, it exacerbates the issue. And to me, that sounds like that 6 foot apart stuff. That sounds like that stand 6 feet apart. You cannot, like, they it's very, very, very much, it's not even introverted. It's antisocial type of stuff right there. Very antisocial. And I feel like that's just an agenda for people to just really, really hate being around other people. So it can further expand whatever their agenda is, whatever that is, because I can definitely see there's some kind of agenda, because these people, why can't they be unique with their titles? Okay. But anyway, yeah, that's all I want to say about that. But yeah, now I want to go back to this right here. Earlier, I talked about xenophobia, and I talked about Jessie Wu when she was reading the comments, and it was a lot of. She said it was basically like, well, in her words, black people, but I say brown people that was talking about this not our fight. But I already know that was mostly brown women, because it's not too many brown men, that's going to say it's not our fight, because they don't get into fights no way. They don't get into those type of fights. They don't get into. They weren't even at the front lines when it came to them being unalived, right? They weren't even at the front lines for themselves. So that's a bunch of brown women. But I want to look. It sounds weird though, because true enough, I guess during the whole the protests and all that stuff, she said it was a lot of women on social media, wherever she was looking or reading, she saw where a bunch of brown women or brown people are talking about it's not our fight, we're gonna stay out of it. And I explained on the last video about xenophobia, but she thought it was sounding like xenophobia, and I said no, it's not xenophobia, because brown women fight for everybody. They will fight for a chimpanzee. They will fight for a roach. They won't fight for each other, but they will fight for a chimpanzee. They will fight for a cat. They will fight for a document picture. The brown women fight for anybody and anything and everything. So xenophobia is the last thing that a brown woman is, a brown American woman. That's the last thing she is. Okay, but I thought about this, and I thought about how dangerous it is. Unless they specifically asked brown women to please help us fight our battles, I don't understand why the point of saying things like that. I don't understand the point of saying things like that. And I did say that on the last videos, like, I can see something, I might not want to jump in, but that don't mean I'm gonna say, go to them and say, well, it ain't my fight. But why go to them and say something like that? Just be quiet. Like, why would you say that? That is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. It's so it's like just like, oh, you don't. It's just the way that comes off. Can I turn? Oh yes, I can turn. But anyway, it's very disrespectful, and I find it to be a little dangerous. Unless these people, immigrants or whoever, because I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, I'm not on top of the news. I purposely don't. I'm not on top of the news. I don't feel like looking at stuff like that. Like, I don't care. I just will be uninformed. I'll listen to people like Jesse Wu and whoever. I look at their videos, and if they decide to talk about it, that's the news I get right there. I am not on top of the news because I feel like it's too much low vibration stuff. So I have to say, I guess it's about the immigrants, okay? Because I'm not on top of it. I'm sick of them pushing. Because listen, I, I'm I lived in LA for 10 years, right? And now I live not about two hours from LA. The first day that they said this stuff was supposed to happen, it was somebody in Los Angeles that made a comment on a Facebook post. With that, no, they made a post on Facebook, and they said, for those of you who said is who's talking about the protest in Los Angeles, there's nothing going on. Well, no, he said, those of you who are talking about the riots in Los Angeles, there are no riots. Nothing is going on. So around the time when it first started hitting the news, I guess none of that stuff was happening. None of that stuff was happening. And then I guess a few days later, they have paid actors or whatever. That's why I don't look at this stuff. I don't get into it. I'm tired of them. I'm really tired of them. But I already know they only exist in my mind and nowhere else. This is all about the mind. This is a battlefield of the mind. None of this stuff exists outside of the mind. I know it ain't no physical world. So if I want them to go away, I have to detach from the United States narrative, and that for me, that seems like that means I need to detach from the United States of America, honestly. And but still, I don't feel like feeding into that. I just happened to look at Jesse Wu's when Jesse Wu talked about it. I clicked on it because it was titled that she saw a straw and she have some questions. And so that's why I clicked on that video, and she just happened to talk about all those comments that she read about brown people, probably mostly brown women, saying that it's not their fight. And my question is, like I said, I disagree that it's xenophobia because brown women fight everybody else's battle except for their own. Oh yeah, they will make excuses for everybody else to defend everybody else, but when it comes to somebody who look just like them, then it's all tough love and all that stuff and giving them a hard time, right? So basically what I'm saying is xenophobia is incorrect. But what this is what I want to say, how dangerous it is to get in a bunch of comments and talk about how it's not your fight. If unless somebody asks you to get up and go fight for them, I don't understand the point of saying that. Why? How disrespectful. I'm just, just my opinion. How disrespectful and just plain out rude. That people could be dying and all this stuff, which I don't believe in this stuff. I believe it's all some stuff that's being pushed to push some fear-based type of crazy, because they always need some kind of riots. They have to push all this chaos. When they're ready to create a new world order, and I think they've created several new world orders in the last few years. I don't know. But when they're ready to create a new world order, they push this chaos stuff. So I'm already familiar with that. So I don't want to get into somebody could have died. Well, I know this all made up, and if somebody died, they're collateral damage because this is all some doggone this seems to be a little scripted. And I like to look at Mag Bitter. His name is Mag M-A-G Bitter Truth, Bitter Truth. And I like to look at his breakdowns because he talk about all those doggone Masonic symbols. He will point out all of the Masonic symbols when it comes to stuff like this. Okay. But I already knew it was something fake when people from LA talk about, they talking about his riots, but ain't nothing going on. They'll let me know that they pushing that kind of stuff. They pushing that mess for people to get engaged in it. And that's why I don't keep up with the news, because this type of stuff, they always pushing it on you. I don't need to take that in my brain. And I'm getting very close to thinking I need to spend about another good 3 months away from the United States of America. I need to give the United States of America a break. I'm tired of their media. I'm tired of United States media. I need to give them a break. Okay. But yeah, so I'm about to get ready to go because I have to go. It's late. I know it's even later for some of y'all. I'm in California, Pacific time. So it's like just after 9 o'clock. But for some of y'all, it's after midnight or after 11 o'clock p.m. Or it might be 12 a.m. But and what I want to say is that it doesn't make sense. Something doesn't sound right when you have when you see a bunch of comments with so-called brown women saying, "Well, it ain't our fight. It ain't our fight." And what warranted brown women to just outright say something like that? What prompted them to say that? See, to me, that don't sound right. I'm really hoping it's not a bunch of bots pretending to be brown women. And when stuff like this happens, you have people pretending to be brown women or bots with the brown woman photos or whatever, talking about it's not our fight. Who asked you to jump in it? Like, who asked you? That's what I'm saying. It's not adding up. That's now you might have had one or two brown women to say it's not our fight, but it's not making sense that you have a particular type of protest that have nothing to do with the brown community. It doesn't have anything to do with white people, black people, or whatever. I can't, as weird that some brown women can be, this don't make no sense. And I'm gonna get into how dangerous this is starting to become. I really feel like most of those doggone comments might have been bots. It don't make no sense for brown women to just come out in the droves and say it ain't our fight. That don't sound right. But sometimes when other people are telling a story, maybe they over exaggerate. Maybe Jessie Wu might have saw 2 comments and maybe she exaggerated like it was about 50 comments. Because it ain't making sense. What brown women ain't got nothing better to do but say it ain't our fight? Like, they got things to do. Like, unless somebody was on the news and say, brown woman, we need you to, black women, they say black women, we need you to help us fight. Unless they came out and said that, I can't see brown women just in the droves doing some stuff like that when it's not warranted. That don't make no sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. So that's weird. That's a little weird. And if they did do that, which I have a hard time believing they would do that without being warranted, without something prompting. Brown women are smart. Listen. Brown women ain't that doggone dumb. Listen. Now, I read her comment section. A lot of brown women disagree with what she had to say, but they disagree with her calling them xenophobic, because brown women in the United States of America, they're not xenophobic. They fight everybody else's battles. They're not xenophobic. They will fight people in the Congo. They will fight their battles before they fight their own. They will fight the black man's battles before they fight their own. They will fight the white man's battles before they fight their own. So the last thing brown women are is xenophobic. So when I read the comment section, it was basically them disagreeing on her saying that they are xenophobic. But I'm having a hard time believing that a bunch of brown women decided to go say it's not our fight. Like, who asked you this? Who asked you? That don't make sense to me. That's like me seeing somebody get robbed. That's like me seeing a white lady get robbed, and I roll down the window. It ain't my fight. Like, that's dumb. Why would you do that? So something ain't settling. Something ain't looking right. And I feel like brown women are about to be set up for everybody in the world to hate them. Brown American women look like they're being set up for everybody in the world to hate them. I see thumbnails. Let me see what's happening here. I see thumbnails where it's video saying, why do Africans hate black Americans? Or, well, it's like, why are they pushing that kind of division like that? It's not all, why they push that stuff like that? I'll read it. Should you break up with him? He's cheated on you 4 times. Well, I mean, I would think that would be a yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If he's cheating on you, if you don't like him cheating on you, I would think if you're not happy, I think you need to move on. Okay. And that's just it. Oh, somebody answering the question like you. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, if you're not happy, move on. Like if unless you like being cheated on, I mean, just leave. So yeah, basically. That's why I'm not in relationships. I don't even know what that feel like anymore. I'm not in relationships. I don't even have those kind of feelings. It might have been pretending to be brown women that upset Mooney Long as well that day and made her say that stuff that made her brown women fans mad. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm about to go, but yeah, that don't sound right. And I feel like brown women in America are being set up for everybody in the world to hate them, because I think brown women are smarter than that. I think we need to give, I would like to give brown women a little bit more credit, because when I speak to a brown woman face to face, they seem like they got good sense. The only time it seems like brown women don't have sense is when it comes to brown men. When it comes to brown men, all sense go out the window. But other than that, it seems like they okay. It seems like they're okay. Okay? That don't sound right. Why would you be so heartless to look at a protest, which I know is some made up stuff, but everybody else don't know that. Why would you look at something that you think is a protest where you might believe that people are actually getting hurt, that you might believe that people are actually getting killed, and you get in the comment section and say some heartless, just evil, wicked stuff like it ain't our fight? What prompted you to say something like that? What prompted you? See, now what's happening is, now when you had Haitian women and brown women and Nigerian women and brown American women and Jamaican women and brown American women, they will come together. Now they pushing a division. This is a division being pushed amongst brown women, period. But they are wanting to divide other groups of women from brown women. They want to isolate the brown American woman by herself. They want her by herself. So they want to get the African woman not to like her. They want to get the Haitian woman not to like her. They want to get the Jamaican woman not to like her. They want to get the Trinidadian woman not to like her. They want to isolate brown American women. That doesn't make sense for them to be in a comment section talking about it ain't our fight. Why would you say that? Because some of the brown women I meet, they seem to have some sense. I know you got some hood rats and all that stuff out there, but most brown women, that's not them. Like, most brown women aren't like that. Many of them that I meet appear to have some sense. They're not like that. You know? Even when I would go to the hood to go to some of these restaurants in Los Angeles, and some of these ladies would be from Watts and South Central. When I would be sitting in the restaurant and waiting for my food, they still sat there quietly. They weren't crazy. They weren't crazy and all just illiterate like that. Like the way these women, the way she said these women were in the comments, and it's almost like they don't have a lick of sense and they're illiterate. This sounds like very illiterate behavior. And I don't believe most brown women in the United States are like that. A very ignorant behavior. And I don't think most brown women in the United States are like that. So I'm getting the feeling that these could have been a lot of bots pretending to be brown women to say it's not our fight. And I don't know who asked brown women to jump into that anyway. Who asked brown women to get into the protest? Who asked them? Like, it don't make sense. And it looked like it's a setup to separate brown women from every other woman so she can be isolated, so the brown American woman to be isolated. The brown American woman in the United States of America, she is being set up to be completely energetically removed from this plane of existence. She is set up to be energetically removed completely in the United States. She's being set up, and this to me look like it's a plan to isolate her. But anyway, that is it. I have to go, and I'll talk later.